Welcome to Bizart, the podcast of the odd, the art and the rest. I'm Madeleine Swan. I write weird and strange stories. This is Stephen Waring.
Hello.
You can find his weird arty brain at lofiguy.com. If you have any questions or queries, or you just want to say hello, email bizartcast@gmail.com.
Hello.
How are you? We're going to do some...
I'm confused. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing, but Weaven's going to tell me.
Well, we're going to try something a bit different this week. What we're going to do is a painting. Now, I think Maddie's going to do most of it, but I'm going to sort of like lend a hand is the right way of putting it. I'm basically going to supervise as she goes along. What we're doing is we're doing a painting in the style of Braque. You can see here.
I've had no art training of any kind. I was a life model for 10 years, but that mainly involved standing still or sitting or something of that nature.
Although I think your little doodles are very good. You definitely have it in you to be very good. It's just not the path that you've chosen because you went into writing. So there we have it. So what we'll do is we'll move the camera and we'll basically have more of a close-up of the canvas and you'll see the work take shape.
Okay, so Weaven's going to explain how to do this thing in the style of Braque, and I'm going to get more and more cross as it goes on, so just a warning.
I'm not sure how much Braque stuck to the rules with this particular painting. Well, there are no rules really with Cubism, but you know, the kind of take a subject matter from multiple perspectives. So this is pretty much what Maddie's going to do. She's got this her magic
pen. It's a pen.
Skull pen, the magic wand masquerading as a pen, and you know it. And she's going to basically paint this from multiple angles on the canvas. This lovely clean canvas which I've provided for you, which I haven't spilled coffee on in the past and then discarded and left aside to use on a rainy day, just like today.
So when you say multiple angles, this means nothing to me.
I think you're worrying too much, really. Just put it down on the page, on the canvas, like it's make it look aesthetically pleasing. But it's like you're doing lots of little paintings,
right,
on one canvas. So, like you're studying, say, the eye. Put the eye in, studying the jaw from the side. So you're capturing the essence of the skull, pen, wand thingy, but from multiple perspectives.
Yeah.
So
okay, well,
I think
let's just begin.
If you make a start, then we can just. I'm sure it will flow from there. So you've had, as you know, Maddie's a famous writer. She's had having 3 novels published, aren't you? Well, you've had 2 published, and this will be your 3rd.
Well, my 3rd novella, yeah, it will. Sort of novella / short story collection that's all connected, kind of thing.
And these are all in the genre of
Bizarro, I guess.
Bizarro fiction.
Just generally weird, I think. I just refer to my stuff as weird. Let's talk about something fun.
It's fun. I suppose you're always being asked.
I'm not always being asked. It's just, but you know.
Into the about the actress, the silent movie actress who.
Sunset Boulevard.
Sunset Boulevard. Yeah.
Billy Wilder.
Yeah, that's a fantastic film.
I love that film so much.
And there's a little bit where that is shown in
really?
Weeks. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And you can see the influence there. I think I guess that's the kind of what do you think the difference is between American surrealism and kind of European surrealism? Because there is a difference, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it more influenced by pop culture, perhaps, or not necessarily pop culture, but just the different culture in general?
I mean, I couldn't tell you really. I mean, it'd be interesting to try and find out.
There's definitely a different vibe. I think maybe the kind of the all-out capitalism, that kind of element really affects the art form. I was trying to think of other examples. I mean, it's weird how the 1950s is kind of
left such an impression
on modern society, and even like in politics, there's kind of like a yearning from the right to kind of.
It's not just a yearning from the right though. It's an interesting time because it's included in sort of the golden age of Hollywood. You know, say the golden age was like the 30s.
Yeah.
It's still like there's still elements of it in the 50s, like Marilyn Monroe and James Dean and so on. And culture is like, say, a lot of people who are the age who are sort of making films now, that's when a lot of their youth was, I guess. And and I suppose it's also quite interesting in the sense of there was like a separation between what everyone was telling you to be like and what reality was. There were all these instructional films on how to be a good person, and none of them really sort of allowed for, you know, real people. They were like, make sure that you're always polite 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Make sure you're... So...
kind of fake.
It's kind of...
common etiquette.
It's kind of interesting in the sense of like expectations and versus reality. And
did you want to make a study from a different angle at some stage, so you can do, say, the jawline or something from a different perspective?
Know. I wouldn't know. This is nothing I will have ever thought about before. This is basically like a kid's drawing. I'm just
it's fine.
Like letting you know this now.
As long as you're taking what it's said, it looks like you are into consideration, like multiple angles.
Kind of trying.
It doesn't have to be the same dimensions either. You could take an element and make it really big, and you could take another element and make it really small, you know.
Well, we'll see what I end up with.
As long as you capture the essence of what you're trying to do, that's absolutely fine. Okay, do you have a surreal memory from your childhood, or if not, a traumatic one which seems to stick in the memory a lot easier?
Well, I've got traumatic ones, but we won't go into that. Surreal.
Depends on the level of trauma, really, doesn't it? You can go,
Well,
or oh my god,
these are not funny.
No. Therapy after this.
Yeah. Surreal. A surreal memory from childhood. I've got this memory of, right, my sister Catherine used to she's the middle sister, there were three of us. She used to taunt me, but I remember I always used to make it into, like in my head, I used to make it into a good thing. Like, it sounds really like bizarre, but for example, one time she was learning how to play the recorder, and she knew she was annoying everyone because she was just blowing into it like one Saturday morning, endlessly just blowing into this recorder, and there was no tune and everyone was getting a bit fed up, but I think everyone else kind of like just went out into the garden or something. But I was obsessed with making tapes. That's all I used to do. I was literally like, for years I think I just used to make tapes, like Butters really, when he would make tapes. And
so you saw everything as something new.
I turned it into her playing the recorder. I turned it into this storyline on my tape, where instead of seeing it as that she was ruining my story, I pretended that there was this bird that was annoying all the characters in the story that I was making up on the tape, and that was the recorder, and it was yay. So yeah, that was that. So yeah, I used to like.
So you were always in story mode.
Yeah, I kind of was. Yeah. Did you used to make tapes?
Yeah, I remember the one where I used to record all the soundtracks off the telly, you know, for my favourite programmes, and Blake 7 was on them, and and I was like, right, everybody be quiet now, I'm about to record Blake 7, because obviously you had to use the microphone on the tape recorder and put it right up to the TV speaker to be able to do that, and it was just getting to the end of the theme tune, and my dad let out the biggest belch that you ever heard.
Oh God!
And
did you do it on purpose?
Yeah, it was right near the end. It was
Did you do it on purpose, or did it just happen
I
at the
think
same
he
time?
just probably wasn't listening to me and just doing what he normally
Oh,
does.
parents, don't they know how important these things
I
are?
know. And it's like, I don't know whether that was the last episode of Blake 7 ever, or
Your entire life.
in those
ruined.
days you could not like pause TV or anything. Like they would probably show it.
You couldn't just go and get it off of YouTube either. Like that was it.
Yeah, you would. That would be the chance. And like if that was like the end of the series, they probably wouldn't repeat it for a year, if ever, again. You know, so that was the big opportunity.
I had a ritual when I watched The Crystal Maze. I used to get 2 chocolate biscuits and
You could use a bigger brush there.
Oh, I probably could, but this is happening now. I used to get 2 chocolate biscuits and watch The Crystal Maze and get all excited.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll get a bigger brush.
And you can mix some water with it if you want to make it go a bit further.
Okay. Me and Nathan used to play The Crystal Maze with like cushions and stuff.
Mm.
Okay, so is there anything that you really regret doing as a child?
Only things like when I felt compelled to say to that blind kid at school that he couldn't watch Knight Rider because he was blind. But it was kind of like had really bad vision. You know, he could see.
Like Bill? Was it like
Bill?
Bill?
Worse than Bill.
I don't know. Bill's is pretty bad.
And I just felt compelled to say it, even though it was wrong, and even though I knew it would hurt him. I think it was because he was so nice, and I can do. He was such a nice lad. His name was Little Willie, and yeah, a bit like Butters or something. Yeah. Yeah, mix that with some water, so you've got a bit.
Right.
You can slosh it about a bit.
Yeah. So you just said to him out of the blue, you can't watch Knight Rider because
we're having a
blind.
conversation. I didn't normally sit with him at the in the canteen, so that's stuck with me ever since. I wonder how he's doing. I wonder how he's getting on.
I'm sure he's fine.
I remembered somebody like the other day that I used to live around, not far away from me, who used to hang out with us kids for about. One of these kids who moved into the area for a year or a year and a half, and then disappeared.
Mm.
You know, I don't know. I kind of remembered him. Something sparked my memory for the first time in like 20 odd years or something, 30 years. It's ridiculous. And he was quite. I think he was quite posh, and he was a bit like Tally ho! It was kind of
Well,
like
that posh, really.
yeah, but he was kind of like had a sunny disposition and like that kind of British kind of Dunkirk spirit, that kind of thing. And that was kind of his nature.
Well, he wore a flat cap as a child.
I can imagine him in a flat cap. But it's funny that way that people just drift in and out of your life like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got vague memories of people, but I don't really know where they came from or who they really are. Or
what's your favourite animal story with one of your pets?
Oh, our Alsatian bear. This sounds really cruel, but it was really funny. We had a patio door, and when Mum cleaned it, you basically couldn't really tell if it was glass or open, and the dog just ran full pelt from one side of the house, like to go out into the garden and staggered back. Like, it sounds horrible, but he was fine.
Yeah.
Like, he lived for a further 5 years, so it didn't affect him. It was just quite funny at the time.
Oh,
Bless his cottons.
Of course, remember Daisy Diggies?
Oh yeah.
Who,
we had a hamster called Daisy because she had markings like a cow, and because of Daisy from Spaced, and she was quite insane, wasn't she? Really.
She when you buy a hamster from a pet shop, they normally put them in a little cardboard box, and that's adequate between the time of like buying the animal and getting them home. But she managed, because she was, her name.
She was a hamster, but turbocharged, wasn't she?
Hamster.
She was like so much personality that she was exploding with it. This tiny little thing.
And she basically nibbled her way out of it in like 5 seconds. Like by the time I'd gone and got the car,
I was like trying to restrain this tiny creature in the car. And then we put her in obviously the empty bath before we could get the cage assembled, and she was kind of, the cardboard box thing had been chewed so that what was sticking out was her front bit and her back bit, and all 4 of her legs were going like that in the
air. It's funny how some pets have a real kind of personality, isn't it? Some of them are just real characters.
Right.
What do you mean? It's sort of like from you could say.
You keep saying multiple, but
well,
I don't know what you mean.
Like here.
Yeah. But what?
There.
What is
there. In? From all over. Basically, you're taking elements of it from all over, and the container.
So I can put the container there.
If you think, if you think that would look nice and aesthetically pleasing, it's just getting the essence of it across without necessarily conforming to standards. Right. It's true therapy.
Yeah.
It really is. They do art therapy. Although for me, if it's not going how I envisaged, then it can be quite frustrating, but that's probably just me and my...
Well, that's the difference between just sort of poodling around and doing something properly, like you do.
The idea that we came, you came up with a brilliant idea the other day, and I've been messing around this week trying to do something with it, but I still can't quite nail what I want to achieve with it. I'm just not happy with anything I've come up with, and that's been happening for months with me. I've not.
Yeah, but you just need to keep doing stuff and make lists. I always make lists, lots and lots of lists. And then eventually something just sparks your excitement.
I think with what I'm doing, I need to work bigger. That's the real problem.
What's the scariest thing you've experienced or can remember, or like the most
You
scary?
can mix more. You don't have to do.
Okay.
That's it. Scariest thing that I've experienced?
Yeah, like when you were younger. What about Rabbit Girl?
Oh, Rabbit Girl, yeah.
Tell Rabbit
I
Girl.
might have mentioned her before.
Tell Rabbit Girl.
Oh, well, there was somebody moved into the top flat in the block of flats where I live, and well, I didn't know who had moved in there. All that I knew was there was this really there was a kind of like ABBA being played really loud, kind of. When I opened my patio door, I could hear like ABBA, and I could hear this kind of high-pitched voice sometimes, like "Oh yeah," and Hallelujah, and bye bye. You know, like you
Like your nan.
like a crazy old auntie or something.
Yeah.
That kind of voice.
Mhm.
Anyway, like 2 or 3 months later, the girl who I obviously realised lived at that flat, she appeared at my door. She was probably about 25. She had a pet rabbit in her arms. She said, "Oh, hello, I'm your neighbour."
Just to sort of make clear, you lived in a block of flats. She was in the same building as you, and your front door was within the
She never came
flat
out of her
building.
She never really came out. She used to get. I noticed there used to be Sainsbury's back, even though this was a stone's throw away from a Tesco's superstore. She had Sainsbury's to live in, and it was always quite like she was a shut-in kind of thing. But anyway, she appeared at my door and she was like, "Can I come in for a cup of tea?" And I was like, "Well, I'm quite busy at the moment." She said, "Oh," and she sort of like forced her way in, a bit like
God.
Papa Lazarus, you know, got his foot in the door and. My wife wants to use your toilet. So I came in and I was like, so I sort of made her a cup of tea, and then I think I had to make a phone call, or I was waiting for a phone call. So as she was there, I decided to phone them to sort of like so that they didn't phone up while I was talking to her or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I decided to make this phone call, and she was like, "Are you only talking on there because you don't want to talk to me?" It was quite sad, really. And she said, "Do you mind if I put my rabbit down on the floor?" I said, "Okay." And the rabbit was hopping around on the floor. She said, "Do you want to be my boyfriend?" and things like that.
She just came out with that. I didn't realise she just came out with that on the first time.
And she was saying that, "I had lots of boyfriends." And
How old was she? Because this sounds like she's little, but she wasn't, was she?
no, she was 25. No, younger than 25. She looked older though. Her hair was kind of cropped really short.
Mm.
And then she happened to mention that she was she'd come out of, is it Severals, the home for
Wayward children.
no, I think it's for like people with mental psychological issues.
Right. Yeah, so she was asking.
And then all of a sudden she was talking about how she tried to throw herself off the balcony. She was on a top floor flat with a balcony.
Oh my god.
And then she said she might do that, and I was like, oh
My
god, I'm gonna have to call someone now.
Yeah.
And then she said thanks for the tea, and then she was saying, oh, I can't believe you don't want to be my boyfriend.
Was she kind of joking or
No.
no?
And then it was really sad, but
Very
frightening. But after that, she came back 2 or 3 more times, and she was like banging my door at 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff.
Yeah.
And I called the police to explain. They said, oh yeah, she's known to us, blah blah blah.
Dear.
And they sent someone round, but then after the police had gone, because I saw them pull up, after they'd gone, she knocked on my door again.
Oh God.
And I could tell it was her because it was like this, you know, just like standing outside my door.
Oh my God, well, both hands?
Yeah, it was proper, full on, kind of.
Oh my God.
And then after that, it was kind of winter, so whenever I pulled up, when I came home, I made sure my lights were switched off so that she wouldn't notice that I'd come home and things like that. But she was still knows that she must have been watching. And she'd come and sort of like, I'd wait about 20 minutes and she'd be bashing on my door again, you know.
God.
And I didn't have the guts to tell her to go away, you know. So I felt sorry for her.
Yeah, of course.
And I think I might have been the next day that I phoned this estate agent who rents out the property, and I said, look, can you speak to her family? And she's got animals. She had animals up there as well. And that was where I felt really guilty. I shouldn't have mentioned that, but I said she's got animals and all sorts. And
yeah, but you worry about animals though, don't you?
yeah, I mean she's probably fine with them.
I'm sure she was, but I think generally you were worried about her and the situation because you didn't want her to be saying anything about you, or you know.
I heard a knock on a door across the street as well. So she was obviously sort of like doing it to
everyone.
And anyway, she moved out eventually, but
Didn't you say she was?
I still feel bad about the way I handled it because
You phoned people and you spoke to the police and the letting agents. So you could have just left her to throw herself off the balcony, which would have been awful.
I didn't think she was going to do it, but you sit there thinking, well, what if she does? You know.
Of course. And you did something about that, which was good. Which was what a good person does. You know, most people would just hide. I mean, I remember you phoning me late and going, she's banging on my door, and it was dark, and I could hear like banging in the background, and you turned all your lights off to try and pretend that you weren't there, and this was around midnight. I mean, that's not a normal situation. What else can you do in that situation apart from tell people, which you did, that you were worried about her?
She was walking around, and it was cold, really cold, it was winter, and she was walking around outside in a nightie, banging on doors and stuff.
Oh yeah. She must have been like desperate for some sort of attention.
From what I could gather, her father had he's either remarried or he's with. There used to be this a girl who, she was probably not much older than her, who was with her father because she said that to Pat, the lady right above me, the old lady above me, she was knocking on her door as well, you know, so it's probably scared her after death as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary, it is.
It was said to her that that's her mum, and it was like this hippie girl. So her father, I think, had basically set up home with this girl, and probably found a place for her to live when she'd come out of the out of the home for, you know. But it wasn't working. It wasn't going to work. And why put her in a top floor flat? That's if she's.
Yeah, if she's threatening to jump off a balcony. Yeah. This looks like a boil with a face.
It's got,
Hello.
it's definitely got character.
Right, I didn't know what you meant when you kept saying multiple angles, so I've just started putting bits on it, really.
It's like you had one of those macro lenses and you were taking pictures of that all of the way round from different angles, and then you were doing a painting of all the different pictures that you'd taken.
Right, okay.
Different
So
angles.
you didn't say that to me, you just said multiple angles, so
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know what that means, so.
Loosely.
I'm sure that Braque would see this and weep with jealousy.
Yeah, there'd be something wrong with him if he didn't do that.
Yes.
I think maybe he was the prima donna and you're the real thing.
Yeah. I'll tell everyone that when I take it to the galleries, and I'll say, look, Braque was a fool. Look at this. It's a boil with ice and flowers.
I think if you probably took yourself really seriously, were really professional, had everything presented the way they would want, then they would probably take it into consideration. It might be brilliant anyway by the time we finish, to be honest, but
Come on, let's not be silly.
it's not enough to come up with something amazing. It really isn't.
What do you have to do then?
It's like you have to fit in.
Yeah.
It's like a club.
Yeah, I can see.
Depending on where you go.
I think it depends on where. I think you have to maybe start small and work your way up, like anywhere else. Maybe. I mean.
Buy low. Buy high, sell low.
No, come on.
Yes.
For example, I'm kind of trying to work my way up. I try and think of it like a ladder, and at the top of the ladder are people like Margaret Atwood and Neil Gaiman and Octavia Butler or whoever else, and down at the bottom is, like, on the bottom rung are people who are still sort of toodling around and haven't had anything published, and I'm maybe rung 2 reaching up for rung 3, you know.
Right.
So it's you know, it's kind of you just have to keep pushing yourself. That's how these things work, I think. You just have to keep, the more people think, oh, that person's still here, they're still doing stuff, you know.
Do you remember
Then
completely changing the subject? Well, sort of, yeah, pretty much. Do you remember the bloke who graffitied on a Rothko?
yes. And he was saying that it had made it more expensive now, wasn't he?
Fancy choosing a Rothko as well.
I know.
Of all the, I mean, can't he do Tracy Emin or something? But then again, that would never be right because it's someone's art.
Well, no, because I mean, Tracy Emin has got her fans, and they would be saying,
I know that graffiti, street art, is
de rigueur.
it will, you know, there'll be someone next week painting over, doing something over it, and then there'll be someone painting over that, and that there's definitely a place for that. And I know that nothing lasts forever, and everything's in its
Yeah.
own time. But there's something about a Rothko which I felt
Well, you really like Rothko.
it's transformative. Rothko. It's like something else entirely. It's an experience. So I think, but I was thinking that was a bad choice. But then I thought, no, actually, that's something that I like, as you said. That's something I like. So if he had done it on a Tracy Emin, well, that would probably upset someone else in the same way who was really into Tracy Emin's art. So
I mean, to be honest, I must admit I don't hate Tracy Emin's art. I'm quite intrigued by narcissism. It's something I'm interested in, and I'm quite intrigued by someone going on and on about their conquest or whatever. There's something about that appeals to me. It's like the kind of narcissism of the 90s, but like I'm not a super fan of her, you know. I just I don't hate her. I know it's sort of
I think the
thing to say that you do, but
of that group of artists who came out of the, where were they, Goldsmiths or something, weren't they, at that time? I think the what are they called, Jake and Dinos,
the Chapman
brothers.
Yeah,
they're the only ones that I actually really like.
Yeah, I want to get that series that they did. What was it called? The Marriage of Reason and Squalor.
Oh yeah, I didn't see all of that. I saw. But the thing is, I mean, they're basically carrying on from Goya, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, with all the little figures.
Yeah, so basically it's like a progression from that. Whereas, say, Damien Hirst and that are kind of more Duchamp and...
Yes, object stuff.
Yeah. And I kind of like... I don't know, the Goya kind of thing appeals to me more. I think it's...
Yeah.
I don't know, it seems to carry more weight for me. Kind of like has more depth to it.
La 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 la.
What I'll do is I'll pause this and then we'll convene in a... So, you've forgotten something, Maddie. Can you guess what you've forgotten to do?
Burn it.
I like it. It has a certain charm.
What's that then?
I don't know. It's kind of like...
What should I do?
He's kind of like... he's got kind of like a cheeky kind of evil genius kind of grin on his face.
What have I forgotten?
To sign it. Oh, that's a huge brush you've got there. What are you doing? No! No! You have to make an exhibition of yourself, don't you? I like the anarchist streak. Oh, actually, it's quite good. I like the contrast there with the smooth lines and the.
Yeah.
You can give that to Bill, can't you? Give it to your boyfriend.
I probably won't.
Why not? You like that?
Yeah. It's captured forever in video format, so you know.
Yeah. That's the thing. Who's to say that the digital format that we've created here won't last longer than the actual picture?
It will.
So everyone should be out there filming their artwork just in case.
I come along.
Just in case you come along. Like, is it because we were talking about that guy who scribbled on a Rothko?
Oh, might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it. Weaven will be back. And I will be back as well.
No, I'm not coming back.
He's not coming back ever. Maybe you could give some tips and stuff when we do it next. Might be an idea.
Yeah, I'll have a go next time, and
okay.
you can.
I'll keep
you
you
can
company.
destroy my painting at the end.
That sounds good. All right, bye.
Bye.